Hello everybody and welcome to TTTV F1. You're watching TTL F1 season number 11, round number 18, which takes us to the United States Grand Prix. And joining me in the commentary box is Andy Campbell. Andy, how are you tonight?
I'm very well, Kieran. Hope you're well as well. Hello to everybody watching. In for a cracking race tonight at the Circuits of the America in Austin, Texas. Obviously one of the newer tracks to the calendar from 2012. It debuted on the calendar and it's been there ever since. And it's a popular one with many sections of the track replicating famous parts from European tracks. And I think the most obvious one is the section in Sector 1, which is based on Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel at Silverstone. So it's a track I think quite a lot of drivers quite enjoy, I think. I know that's when I've driven it. I've certainly enjoyed doing it. It's one of the more enjoyable tracks. You can get a good flow going, especially through that first sector. So it's bound to be fun tonight.
Absolutely, and as you say, the COTA track has been hosting the United States Grand Prix since 2012, and 5.513 kilometres, a race distance tonight of around about 159 kilometres. Lap record 137.392 by Lewis Hamilton in 2018, and well, this seems to be one of Hamilton's most favourite tracks on the race calendar. He's won here in a McLaren, and he's won many races here in the Mercedes team he's now a part of. To be exact, Lewis Hamilton has won 6 United States Grand Prix, 5 of them coming at COTA. In fact, 6 of them now, I believe. No, 5 of them. 5 of them at COTA, 1 of them at Indianapolis. And that leads you into your question then, Andy, for tonight. Oh no, I've lost Andy. Okay, never mind then. Lewis Hamilton's 6 wins.
I'm here.
Oh, okay, Andy. I was going to say, it's just a load of silence.
I turned my mic off by mistake. It was my fault. All my fault. Yes, obviously I do enjoy my trivia, as I've mentioned more than once before already. So this one I think will get a few people thinking though, and I need to give you props for obviously not, picking up on it as well, because I was trying to figure one out. So the US Grand Prix, as it is, has only been hosted at 6 locations. Okay, now a lot of people will be like, oh, hold on, there's been a lot more than that. It's only been 6 locations for the US Grand Prix. Can anybody name them in the chat? And obviously if you do come up with a wrong answer, I will reference it off for you, just so you know where it's gone wrong. But there is 6 locations for the United States Grand Prix. Can you name them?
Yeah, and it is the United States Grand Prix under that name. So you can't have USA West, for example. That does not count. So which tracks have hosted the United States Grand Prix? Here's one of them. Right off the bat, we'll give you this one for free. COTA, which we've been coming here since 2012. As you were saying, Andy, it seems to have a lot of tracks or a lot of corners that reminisce other tracks, such as turns 3, 4, 5 and 6, replicating the legendary Maggots and Beckett's corner onto Abbey at Silverstone. Quite a few 90-degree corners, as well as that sweeping turn 17 corner, or as I like to call it, Verstappen corner. Caused a lot of controversy a couple of years ago, but yeah, a lot of 90-degree corners, so we should see quite a few overtaking spots, especially up in towards turn 1, unique turn 1, where it actually goes uphill, quite a steep hill as well, all the way uphill into turn 1. You can leave braking a little bit late.
Definitely, it's one of the track is actually one of only 3 on the calendar that runs anti-clockwise. So there's more left-handers than there is right-handers. The other 2 are Interlagos and the Yas Marina circuit, so we're still to go to the other 2 as well. That turn 1, as you mentioned, it's an 11% gradient, and it is 41 metres higher than any other part of the track, if I've got my calculations right. It's very, very steep at the top end into turn 1, so that's a good place for overtaking. The other good part is going to be down that long 1 kilometre long back straight, especially during the race when the DRS is enabled as well, so there's going to be a good chance into there. Obviously, you mentioned turn 17, 18. That's designed off of Istanbul's infamous turn 8 corner, which I absolutely used to love in the old F1 games when it was on the calendar. And then obviously there's a tricky bit just before that, which is kind of designed off a Hockenheim Stadium section as well, with the Mercedes Arena and then into the actual stadium section itself. So a lot of European influences here on the Circuit of the Americas, but it does make for a flowing track, and it's one that I would be surprised to see fall off the calendar anytime in the future. It seems to be very popular, and the US Grand Prix seems to be back where it needs to be. A few drivers come out of pits now. Squeezy is the first one on track, so I would anticipate he's going to be the first one to set a lap.
Yeah, absolutely. Spike's already going on about rear tyre temperatures. In fact, there are so many 90-degree corners here and so many long flowing corners as well that the rear tyre temperatures will take a beating during this race. Good evening, Z3 and Alan joining us for tonight. Mays, our weatherman, is saying it's going to be dry for the qualifying and the race. Spike saying Indianapolis is correct, as Andy's just said in the chat there for you. Yes, Indy is one of them, so we've got 2 so far. Anybody named the other 4?
Yeah, especially the ones that go a bit further back. I'm expecting, hopefully people don't use Google for it. There's a couple of them you maybe wouldn't think of, so be interested to see if anyone can come up with them. But yeah, it looks like Squeezy's coming round that 17-18 part now to start his flying lap. So like we did on Tuesday night, if you wouldn't mind jumping on board with him there, Kieran, and I will take us around a lap of the track.
Take it away.
So coming across start-finish line now, this is one of the 2 DRS zones in the race. We come flying up towards turn 1. You can see just how steep it is. It's very hard to point the apex and get your braking point right as well. The Squeezy's done that well. Then down the hill through turn 2, and then this is that section designed off of Silverstone. Turn 3, turn 4, 185 miles an hour through the first 5 corners, and then around turn 6 and then into turn 7 now. And again we start climbing back uphill a little bit down to 4th gear. This is a tricky corner. You come over the top of a crest here, you can just easily get the car light, and then we come down the hill one more time through turn 10 and then hard on the brakes into turn 11. And again you can take a wide entry into here, get the car straightened up as quickly as possible, because it is a 1 kilometre, 0.6 of a mile back straight. DRS open, when you have the battery on as well down here, I'd imagine, especially with battles going on. And it's into turn 12 down here, and Squeezy nearly at 50 metres on the brakes there, brilliantly late. Down to 2nd gear, up to 3rd and 4th, and this is its part designed a bit off a Hockenheim Stadium section. You can see the Kota Tower off there in the distance for a second, and then down the gears. This is a tricky corner, because through here you're just accelerating, and this is it, designed on turn 8 in Istanbul. 4 apexes, even though it's only called turn 17 and 18, flat out through there, and then into turn 19. You need to watch, don't get wide and invalidate your lap there, and then hard on the brakes one last time, down to 3rd gear, 60 odd miles an hour. Squeeze the throttle back onto the DRS and across the line. It's a 1:31.3. The line comes up quickly. It's a decent lap from Squeezy there to take the provisional pole for just now.
Absolutely, and Squeezy here is obviously looking to try and get some points after his penalty from the last race. He got himself a 10-second penalty for the collision and incident involving Jay there last time out. He wasn't happy about it, but he had to take the penalty, and at the moment the top 4, Lambo on 2:48, Poe on 2:26, Spike on 2:19, Squeezy on 2:13. So it is close there, especially between the 2nd, 3rd and 4th place. Lambo getting a little bit of breathing space. 22 points is the gap at the moment, with this round and 3 more afterwards. So 4 races to go, Andy, with a 22-point gap at the top. Spike there setting a 1:30.8. He means business this race here. He was telling us in commentator's corner last time out that maybe he should stop trying to have an alternate tyre strategy and go for outright pace in qualifying. He's done exactly that. A 1:30.8 is definitely sending out that message.
Definitely, so half a second quicker than anyone else has managed at the moment. That's on the ultra soft tyres, and if I remember correctly, I think it's ultra soft, super soft and softs. Am I correct on that one, Kieran?
I believe you are, yes. Ultras, supers and softs.
Yeah,
pretty simple this time around.
nice and simple, no gaps between. But yes, Spike there, really good lap time for the Sauber driver on the ultra softs, and obviously he needs some points in that championship battle. As you say, Lambo 22 points clear of second place, and I think Spike is third at the moment.
Yes, yeah, in the championship he's third at this moment. Yep, so he's got a few points to gain up.
Definitely so, but he'll be happy with that lap time as well. And to do it so early in the session means he can really ragdoll it round in his next couple of laps, trying to improve that, because he's got half a second over the earliest runner so far. So it'll be interesting to see. And there's no blizzard here tonight, so the pole sitter for the last couple of races isn't about, so that gives everyone else a lovely chance to try and get pole position, and Spike taking full advantage so far, as only 7 drivers have set a lap, and Pole's obviously not set a representative lap, it's nearly 7 seconds down. So it'll be interesting to see who goes for the alternative strategies as well. Obviously Steph's the highest one up at the moment, but 2.7 seconds down I don't feel is quite representative of the soft tyres personally.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you see Plaster there, 133.8, but he's done 2 laps on those ultra soft tyres. Lambo did set a lap, but it was invalidated, so he came straight back to the pits, as did Lighty, so that's why they haven't set any lap times yet. Sean there, 133.9, good lap on the soft tyres there, puts him into P6. His teammate there in P7, is that his teammate? No, I'll get the team colours confused there. It's just a lighter shade of blue, the Williams, on the team colours there, so always catches me out, that one. Damien's teammate Steph, meanwhile. Damien's teammate is Steph. He set a 133.5 and is currently setting off the yellow flags in sector 2 there, 8th gear, 160 kph, so that'll bring out the yellow flags especially. But obviously you don't get any penalties for speeding through a yellow flag, you don't get any penalties for setting purple lap times, so you can push to your heart's content even if there is a yellow flag out.
Yeah, which is pretty helpful in qualifying, at least for sure. So it means that obviously someone's not going to have an invalidated lap because they've not obeyed the yellow flags. Plaster seems to have, looks like he's got Steph right behind. They're playing bumper cars almost, just nose to tail, pushing each other along through the quick left-hander. Really slow, only doing about 70 miles an hour each, so don't know what's going on there, if they're having a bit of gamesmanship or a bit of fun, but yeah, that's a bit different. I wasn't quite expect to see that in qualifying today, that's for sure. They're the only 2 out they're heading for the pits. There's a few on out laps at the moment. Still it's 8 drivers that have set any sort of lap time. And they're still having a bit of fun there as they come into the pits. I'm still watching them.
Well, I don't know if Plaster ran out of fuel there. I think that's why he was going so slowly, and Steph just decided to follow him in, because why not? We've got Z3 there heading through the last couple of corners, setting himself up for a lap time. Obviously took away Blizzard's fastest lap by 1/10 of a second last time out. He was hoping to do that again today, but C3 in commentator's corner last time out was saying there are no circuits that favour him left on the race calendar, so he's coming here with no fear and looking to just have a little bit of fun towards these last couple of races.
Yeah, and especially if if there's not much in terms of championship fight going on, you might, the best thing to do is to have fun. It's the whole point of what league racing is about. You want to be competitive, you want to win, of course, but it's about having fun at the same time as well. So he's got nothing to fear. He's not in any battles, he's not got any pressure in that sense, so he can definitely enjoy it. And he got the fastest lap time out of Z3 in Suzuka, and he's even said already in commentator's corner he's hoping to do it again. Doesn't need to take it off a Blizzard this time though, as he was having a joke with in the corner last time with us. So he'll be looking to have a bit of fun, I'm sure. And I'm sure Toro Rosso is still quite far up the constructors as well, so obviously they still need to get some points for that side of things, though, if I'm correct.
Yeah, absolutely. As I just bring up the table now, Renault on 301 at the moment, Toro Rosso on 280, Sauber on 274, McLaren on 269, all still in with a shout of claiming that constructors title, but only Jay and Poe have seemed to be pretty good teammates this season so far. Jay has got pole positions, he does well in qualifying, but it's the race that's race form is currently not on his side, so trying to get through those demons for Jay, but he'll be hoping to come to this track with a new mentality, a new race weekend, and see if he can get some good points on the board. We should mention that Ollie has got a qualifying ban for a qualifying incident involving himself and May, so that is why Ollie will not be setting a lap time during this session.
Yeah, so it's obviously good to know that as well. As we come up to 7.5 minutes to go, I've currently got Jay on my screen. He's coming to the end of his second flying lap. Currently third place. Can he improve on his time? And he does. He goes up to second. Still 2 tenths shy of Spike though. That's shown to be an even better lap time already than what we were originally thinking. Jay's showing some good qualifying pace, and yet he's still 2 tenths down on that first attempt from Spike. So really good stuff from the Sauber driver. The Renault driver were hoping for a lot better luck this time round. Obviously got caught up in that incident with Squeezy going up through the S's, pitched him off, lost his front wing, and it was just a bit of a nightmare from there on. So he'll be hoping for better luck here today. Just quickly though, in the chat, Alan, Arizona Grand Prix, nope, there wasn't one of those, but you are correct with Watkins Glen between 1961 and 1980, so there's 3 of them now from the 6, so we're only looking for 3 more, but this is where it starts getting trickier, and Jay I think's dropped out of the session, so hopefully we'll see him back in a moment, but P2 at the moment gives him a good place to be.
Absolutely, and Spike, your guess of Detroit is not quite right. It has held a Grand Prix in the United States, but not as the United States Grand Prix. Back then, obviously, they wanted multiple races in the US. That explains, for example, the Detroit Grand Prix. It was never based under the United States Grand Prix, and so therefore doesn't make our list. As you can see there, Jay struggling with a little bit of internet connection. He is currently P2, he's joined back in the session, but obviously he's not back in the car just yet. We have around 5 minutes and 45 seconds left of this session. Spike on provisional pole position, Jay in second, Squeezy third, Poe fourth, Lighty fifth, Sean in sixth, May seventh, Stefan eighth, Plaster ninth, Damien 10th, George Roberts is in 11th with Z3, Lambo, Clifford and LMFC yet to set a lap time in this qualifying session.
Yeah, so some of them obviously deciding to with Lambo, as you said, invalidated his first lap, so he's obviously having to take a chance now, and it looks like he's going to go for the soft tyres, as certainly is what's fitted on the car at the moment, but he's still in the pits. And a few of them obviously, apart from Ollie, who's got the qualifying van, may be thinking of taking a chance of maybe doing one run on one of the harder compounds, trying to do that ultimate strategy, of course, to see if they can get anything out of it from there. But it's going to be an interesting point, because at the moment the top 5, 3 of them are on ultra softs, in 4th place Poles on soft tyres and Lighties on super softs in terms of when they've done their best lap. And yet at the moment, Spike's now on super softs, Poe's on the super softs, but Lighty's gone on to ultras. So the top 5 obviously trying their chances with some different tyres to see which one they can make their fastest lap on. And if someone can get in the top 10, especially the soft tyres, that could be really, really interesting. We've seen how long in the real race Max Verstappen was able to run on those soft tyres, having started at the back of the grid, and just how much better a race tyre they were than the super softs and the ultra softs. We've seen the Mercedes graining up really badly at this race as well, which was won by Kimi Räikkönen, his first race win in 113 races. It's so good to see the Finn back on top. But if someone can get in the top 10 on this, especially the softs, maybe even the super softs, you need to keep an eye out for them, because that could be, if they get a good start and avoid trouble, a very good strategy possible.
Yeah, it could well be. I mean, you were mentioning there Kimi Räikkönen with his first win in 113 races, and if Kimi Räikkönen can win here, obviously someone outside of the top 4 championship battle could actually have a good chance of doing that. Currently the best of the rest is the Ferrari of Lighty in 5th place right now. Maybe could be a surprise win for him, you never know. Anything could happen in Formula 1, and it normally does. Jay there in 2nd place at the moment in the pit lane, and LMFC currently in the Force India looking to set a lap time on a set of super soft tyres. Now earlier on we saw Spike there doing a super soft run, but he was 6/10 slower than his best lap time, which he set on a set of ultra soft. So he did try that alternate strategy, but it didn't quite work out the way he wanted it to.
No, and obviously it's a good part with a longer qualifying session there. It gives you the chance to try and get a banker in, then maybe try something a little bit different for the strategy, and then still have time to go back and get a last lap in. I think in the previous game it was a lot shorter. It was something like only 12 minutes, I think, in short qualifying. So you had to get a banker in, and then it was basically you were concentrating on your final lap time. As Mays has retired from the session, he's currently P9 on the Supersoft, 2.2 seconds down. So I'd imagine with a few people still to set laps, he's going to be outside the top 10. Clifford's decided he's had enough as well, so he's dropped out. So we've got 3 drivers out of the 16, 4 drivers if you include Ollie Wee's ban, that are not taking part any longer in this last part of qualifying session. So it's going to free a bit of the track up for the other drivers to try and find the space to get the lap time they need. And it'll be interesting to see just who can find the speed just where it matters. But that lap time from Spike at the top, we've not seen him back since then, as LMFC drops out the session as well, having just jumped up to 6th place. But Spike's maybe pretty happy with that. He's on his out lap. He's got Ultra Softs on again, but it's still looking like a really, really good lap time. And as you said, he sort of thought about changing from the alternate strategy to just going for the optimum one in terms of tyres, and so far so good for the Sauber driver.
Well, what's interesting to note there is Lambo is on a set of soft tyres. He hasn't set a clean lap time just yet, so he has got that 22-point lead, and maybe he's thinking of the long-term game rather than the short-term. But that means he'll have to fight his way through traffic, and that could be rather foe than friend, especially at the United States Grand Prix. But he's going to go for it anyway.
No, he definitely is going to go for it, and obviously now we're just over a minute to go. He's obviously locked into doing that, so it's a do or die lap for the championship leader as Lighty improves up to 4th place on the Ultrasoft, still 8 tenths down on Spike's lap time. So Spike looking pretty at the moment still as we come into the last minute of the session. He's now just coming round very shortly to start his flying lap. He's just coming through turn 17 and 18 at the moment. Jay's just winding it up to come across the line now to start his next flying lap, and he's just firing down the front straight now with the DRS wide open and the battery cranked right up. So this is crunch time. Sean and Steph won't be taking any further part, as neither will Plaster. So we've only really got Z3, Lambo, and then those that are in the top 5. So there's only 7 cars on track, so plenty of space for the drivers to get the lap time done without catching up to traffic, you would imagine. So this should mean no excuses in terms of traffic, at least anyway. It's all going to be down to the driver. Plenty of space out there with only 7 cars on track.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Lighty in that top 5 is coasting his way back to the pit, so he's no longer going to set a competitive time. We've got Squeezy here as Plaster retires from the session. Here comes Squeezy around the final corner on a set of ultra soft tyres. What can he do then as he heads towards the line? Can he get any quicker? He can, but it's only P2, a 130.9 for Squeezy then. Let's have a look at Poe then, who was on a set of super soft tyres. He's currently 5th place on that set of soft tyres. Lambo, meanwhile, on a set of soft tyres qualifies P6, so job done for him then. So it's advantage Lambo then on those soft tyres. Poe here might think to back out of his lap there as Jay loses that back end very slightly. Spike's going for it, locking up here as we head through towards turn 13, now through 14, up towards 15 now. Let's see if we can ride on board with Jay as he comes around the final few corners, and now coming towards the final corner now. He rounds it, and away he goes to the start finish line, losing that back end very slightly, and then it's P3. He's jumped Poe, his teammate, up into P3 on a set of ultra soft tyres. Lighty there coming back to the pits, and Spike is the only person yet to set a lap. Here he comes towards the line. Can he go quicker? No, he can't. No, he can't beat himself by 0.133 seconds. But Spike then is on pole position for the United States Grand Prix.
Yeah, brilliant lap time. Done it with his first lap as well, so really getting the grip straight away out there. Surprised that Poe, although he's in 4th place, he was only in 5th, and that his first lap was on the softs, and he's gone faster obviously, he's on super soft, so I don't know if he maybe didn't realise it obviously, but there's your time. Spike and Poe, Squeezy in 2nd place, Jay in 3rd, they're all on the ultra softs. Poe 4th place on the super softs, Lighty in 5th for Ferrari in the ultra softs, and then that lovely lap from Lambo on the soft compound tyre up in 6th place, so he's put himself in a good position, I would say. And you've got LMFC, Sean, Steph and Z3 rounding out the top 10, all in the super softs. May's the first one outside the top 10. They're going to have a free choice of tyre obviously, in terms of what they do. So it'll be interesting to see who goes for what outside the top 10. But Lambo's looking pretty decent there, being on the soft tyre, if he can keep the pace to stay close enough to the leaders for when the pit stop phase happens, I would say.
Yeah, obviously he's got that 22-point lead, so he can afford to take a little bit of a risk, but not too much. He knows that if he doesn't finish, and his nearest rival, which is, let me look at it, Poe, gets the race win, of course he will be losing that championship lead. But as long as he keeps all four wheels on the track, he's got a good chance of staying in this race. Blizzard joins in as the 17th car. He will be starting from the back of the grid. So we will see here what tyres he chooses to get his way through. He's been proving himself in these last few races. Once they come back, I think it was mid-season of season number 12, he's planning a return. So this could be warning signs for the rest of the grid as to maybe what's to come. But it's being a little bit disruptive to the top four. That could be a bit of an understatement.
Just a little bit. I mean, Russia won the race. If I can remember, he was on pole as well, and then obviously on Tuesday night in Suzuka, brilliant pole position, and apart from the pit stop phase, pretty much led from lights to flag. As we go away on the formation lap, so we know the top 10, let's look at the rest of them. So Mays on the soft tyre, starting 11th. Plaster's gone for the super softs, as has George in the Red Bull. Damien, Clifford, Ollie and Blizzard at the back, they're all on the soft tyre, so we need to keep an eye out for them obviously later on in the race. They'll be obviously running a lot longer than those at the front, especially the front three that are on the ultra soft, so we expect them to come in, I would imagine somewhere between the laps 7 to 10, I would say. Super softs, I'd imagine, could maybe, if you've got good tyre management, maybe squeeze up to lap 13, and the soft tyres, most people have hoped would be trying to get to anywhere between lap 17 to lap 20. I'll try and keep an eye on pit stop times once they come up and see just how long it takes, but if it's anything like real life, I'd imagine the pit stop time should be anywhere around about 20 to 22 seconds, so that'll be the interesting point when it comes to those further back pitting in terms of where they drop out later on in the race.
Absolutely. Well, Spike then leads them around the stadium section now in the lead on this formation lap. Of course, he's starting on the ultra soft tyres. He was saying in the chat earlier on about rear tyre temperatures that will also add up to rear tyre wear. So the top three on the ultra soft tyres may have the better traction as they head towards turn 1. But as you say, Andy, how long will those ultra softs actually last? That could be an advantage to Poe here, starting on a set of super soft tyres. Now, they may prove to be better race tyres, especially with the sun out and higher track temperatures. You could benefit from starting on a harder tyre in the long run. But well, we've got Spike then returning to the grid, the first one back here as the engine temperatures rise as you're standing still. The tyres and brake temperatures start to fall as we wait for all 17 cars to come back to the grid. TTL F1 is sponsored by weakwifi-solutions.com. Make sure to go to them if you're having trouble with your internet connection and it's affecting your league racing experience. It's also sponsored by fatalgrips.com. Use the code TTL F1 at the checkout for a 10% discount across your entire order. We're moments away now from the United States Grand Prix and round number 18 of TTL F1. So let's get all of the telemetry up. Let's get everything we need. We have 5 red lights here in America. Round 18 is underway, and what are the starts like? Looks like Spike's got a fantastic start, as has Squeezy, as we now head up the hill now towards turn 1. A little bit dicey at the front there, but Squeezy's gone up the inside of Spike. Spike has to run wide. The Renault of Jay loses that back end slightly, but Squeezy takes the lead of the United States Grand Prix. Jay is up to P2. Oh, Squeezy's lost it! Squeezy's lost it! Leading the race. He's lost it. Lit up the rear tyres. He's all the way now down at the back of the field there. That is unbelievable. He just seemed to lost the back end there, and he's lost his front wing as well. So Squeezy, they're pushing too hard. Poe now up into P3, Lighty 4th, with Lambo now up into 4th now, overtaking Lighty through that section there. But Jay leads the way with Spike in 2nd. There's battles behind them as the Force India and the Ferrari battle here. 5 second stop stop-go penalty for Poe for ignoring yellow flags. Meanwhile, Lighty is going to try and take advantage of a Lambo mistake. He lost the back end there coming through turn 11, and you can see now this skirmish of cars as they head now down towards turn 12. No DRS yet, of course, as the Force India LMFC looks to try and take advantage of the battle between Lighty and Lambo. And Lambo here looking to try and get a bit of temperature into those tyres, always difficult to do in the early part of the race. And LMFC looking to try and take full advantage now as he tries to go around the outside, now up the inside of what is now turn... oh, there's a little bit of contact there between LMFC and Lighty now as they head towards turn 16. I've hardly given you the mic, Andy. I should probably do that at some point.
No, it's fine. I've just noticed Blizzard there. He's already made himself up to 11th place. Very, very opportunistic through the stadium section. A brilliant move from Z3 there. He's just passed about 2 cars round the outside at turn 17 and 18, but I think he's done it cheatingly because he's just pulled off to the side to let everyone go by. So not good there. But yeah, terrible. Brilliant start from Squeezy up the inside. It was dicey, but he got the move done. And then it just looked like, as you say, he just spun the rear tyres up, and he's now in the pits. Lighty in the pits as well already. So brilliant start, just chucked away within the space of 600 metres for the McLaren driver. Ollie's made up some good places as well, both him and Blizzard 9th and 10th at the moment, and there's some good passing that they were both doing through the field as everybody was bunched up. So we need to keep an eye on them because they're both in the soft tyres. As Blizzard round the outside now has the inside line going up the hill, and that's Blizzard already up to 9th place. There's not even completed 2 racing laps yet, and he's already came from 17th to 9th.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he's showing a bit of true pace about him. He's got past Ollie, who he was starting with on the grid then. LMFC now trying to chase down Sean. Sean and LMFC on those super soft tyres, as you can see now, as they make their way now down towards turn 12. And that hard braking zone here, Sean able to defend for now. Steph, meanwhile, is up into 5th place. So good start from Steph then. He finds himself in the middle of the point scoring positions. But he's got to watch out, though, because Sean and LMFC are battling away. He's going to want to try and just keep his head down and get away from this battle as much as he can, but Sean is reeling him in, and LMFC is keen to stick on his tail. Meanwhile then Clifford is right behind Ollie here, and Ollie looking like he took a compromised line going through that sweeping right-hander as we now head towards turn 19 here, now down towards and up towards turn 20. DRS is enabled from this lap, so Clifford won't have it along this straight, but up towards turn 1 he'll have a good bit of slipstream here. Obviously you can brake a little bit later as you go up the hill here, but does Clifford have a look? No, he stays behind Ollie for now then, so behind him into turn 1. LMFC running behind Sean, and this is when the dirty air will have a little bit of an impact, especially through this S section here. If you're following a car, you really start to notice it, Andy.
No, definitely so, especially when you're needing the downforce to go so fast through those corners. It's a good start from Jero. He's already out of DRS range, 1.5 seconds clear of Spike, who's about a second clear of Poe. So the top 3-4 have managed to get out of DRS range. So Steph is the first one that's really got to deal with a DRS threat from behind, with Sean coming up behind in the Williams, LMFC in there as well, and then Mays is a second further back. He's got Blizzard coming up behind him pretty quick and within DRS range. So it's now going to get a bit interesting because the DRS comes into effect, but Steph's able to keep it there. As LMFC last minute lunge down the inside, and he's just touched the wheels on the way through, but he's got the move done on Sean very late. That was very much Daniel Ricciardo, like licked the stamp, sent it, and thankfully it reached its destination. And LMFC, after a great race in Suzuka as well, already up to P6 also in this race, considering he's started 7th, so he's not had to make up as much ground. Steph, one of the biggest gainers, but Blizzard 8 places already, and Squeezy's obviously the biggest loser after that spin on lap 1 going through the S's and losing his front wing.
Yeah, absolutely. Lap 4 of this Grand Prix then. Jay leads the way from Spike, Poe, Lambo, Steph, LMFC, Sean, Mays, Blizzard, Ollie, Clifford, Plaster, Damien, Z3, George Roberts, Lighty and Squeezy. They're all still running at this moment in time. We'll have to see who the closest battle on the track is. At the moment, just about, it's Clifford and Ollie here, as Clifford almost runs into the back of Ollie there, fighting over P10. We've also got to watch the other Force India here of LMFC, as he picks himself a 3-second time penalty here. Now, I wonder what's happened to Jay here, because Spike and Poe have managed to close the gap up to each other, and they're now running, well, Poe running 8 tenths behind his teammate, Spike right in the slipstream of Jay now, and he's going to be in DRS DRS range and DRS threat then. So a three-way battle for the lead there as Lambo just looks on and hopes that these three will just get caught up with each other. Then hopefully we get a little bit of a cinematic camera here. As you can see here, Jay is looking to try and defend. Here comes Spike up the inside. Poe wanted to have a look up the inside as well, but nothing doing. He knew he had to back out of that. No, you can't go three wide into turn 12, that's for sure. But here comes Spike then, trying to go up the inside. Does he touch with Jay then? Well, if he did, he's let him go back through, but Spike here could get, or could let impatience get the better of him here. They're both, Jay and Spike, on a set of ultra soft tyres, Poe on a set of super softs. I think Poe would benefit here from just staying out of this battle right now.
I think so, with the extra tyres. LMFC made another place up to P5 once again, late on the brakes. He got that DRS, it didn't need to be as late, but he still needed a late braking to get past the Mercedes of Steph, and he is up to P5 now. Blizzard's made his way past Mays as well, so he's up to P8. Plaster out of the race, and just trying to see where the Ferrari is, if he's binned it or what. But I can't see anything at the moment. I'm following YT coming through the section.
Yeah, left-hand side.
Z3's going slow as well.
Yeah, I think it was a incident with Z3 and Plaster because the game has awarded Z3 a 5-second stop go for a severe collision with Plaster then, so they must have come together in turn 16 and 17 there, because you saw Plaster on the left hand side there. His Strucken Ferrari is out of this race then, so we'll have to see what happens after the race. But Z3 there does have front wing damage. He'll have to come back to the pits. Meanwhile then, Poe is going to try and move down the inside of Spike then as we head towards turn 11. A little bit of contact there, and so Poe has to back out of it. Meanwhile, Jay pitted in that skirmish there. He's rejoined in P12 on a set of super soft tyres, so I don't think those tyres are going to get him to the end, so that's pretty much sealed the two-stop for him. But here comes Poe then, going down the back straight then. Downhill we go now towards turn 12, and Poe here, it looks like he's going to take the lead away from Spike right now on the on strategy here that would preserve those super soft tyres. Spike, meanwhile, has to be aggressive. He's now found a way side by side as we head through turn 14, but now into turn 15. All about traction here as Near How head towards turn 16. That right-hander, that long flowing right-hander, which really benefits you if you've got some clear air ahead of you, and you can see their Spike struggling for grip here. That could be mechanical grip and aero grip as well, as Spike almost loses it on the curb there on the outside of turn 19 as we head through turn 20 then. So Poe is your leader of the United States Grand Prix, and Lambo, who's just been watching on with that battle, now finds himself 9/10 behind Spike, so he could be within DRS zone if he keeps his cool through Sector 1 and the early part of Sector 2.
Yeah, it's put Poe into a good position, especially if he can pull away a little bit, as I'm watching Ollie sneak one up the inside and Mays into turn 1, but Mays gets the power down on the way out, so this lot are all battling. Blizzard up to 7th, he's got Sean in his sights now, and he is looking to fire his way back up through the field in the Red Bull again. He was in the Sauber on Tuesday night at Suzuka. He's back in the Red Bull that he won the race in Russia with, so he's looking to come back through the field, so I'm trying to keep an eye on everything. But Poe looking good at the moment, but it's looking pretty in my opinion for Lambo. 4/10 off and on the soft tyres, and Blizzard's going to have Sean in just a minute I think, because he is all over the back. He's actually going to have it done well before he even needs DRS. Side by side they're bumping wheels a little bit as they come along the straights. 1 kilometre long. Blizzard's got the DRS, so the battery turned out. It's going to be an easy move for the Red Bull driver, because that Williams does not have DRS, but he's going to try and chuck it down the inside, cuts back, and who's going to come out on top? Blizzard, better traction I would say with the soft tyres, and he is through and up into 6th place all the way from the back of the grid, as Jay's left the session, so he's having more internet issues there as the Renault. He just cannot catch a break in these last couple of races. Great qualifying pace, great starts, and just something happens. Last time it was Squeezy caught him and pushed him into the barriers, and it looks like his internet's giving him issues again here today, and he is not running at the moment. Such a shame for the Renault driver. He's got some really good pace.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully he could hop along to weakwifi-solutions.com and pick up something that can help him out there. Just a subtle plug here at the United States Grand Prix. But look at this battle here, from Steph downwards all the way to Clifford. This is a battle between 6 cars for what is now a battle for P5.
Yeah, definitely so. And Blizzard's looking very, very ominous. He's not going to try something round there, is he? No, he pulls back in. I thought he was going to go round the outside through the S's. I was about to say, even for someone of his talents, that'll be a brave move. But yeah, it looks like Steph, as he runs wide there on the super source, maybe he's just struggling a bit. I know they should be lasting a bit longer, but maybe his driving style and setup means it's just wearing away. And Blizzard is right there. He's going to have DRS. He dives to the inside. That was a late lunge, but he's got the move done. And just to add insult to misery there for Steph, Blizzard's going to have the DRS zone and the DRS to pull away as well, because he got through after the detection point. So Steph trying to use the slipstream, but look at them all behind. Ollie's trying to make a move as well, and can he do anything on Sean? But no, he's got across the corner a little bit there. I wonder if that was a cut, I'm not sure. He's side by side with Sean. They're touching wheels through the stadium section, the Williams and the McLaren. This is harking back to the 90s, and there's Ollie, just about got it done at the moment. He's now he's not actually. He's now having to fend off Clifford, sorry. Camera angle on my side deceiving me there. But yeah, plenty of action back here on lap 7. But it'll be interesting to see how long Spike can go, because Spike's actually now dropped down to 3rd place. Lambo's got by. Oh, and LNFC's in the wall! Just spun on the way out of the last corner. Has he got any damage to the car? I think he's just got away with that. Lit the tyres up and we're headed straight for pit wall. But no damage to that Force India. He's a very, very lucky boy. But Spike's dropped to 3rd as Maisie and Steph are fighting into turn 1. There's action everywhere, and I'm not surprised considering the way this track is laid out.
Absolutely. Well, this S section doesn't really see much overtaking, as Blizzard there picks himself up a 3-second time penalty, so that's not going to help him towards the end of the race, especially if he wants to be on the top step of that podium. As you can see there, Squeezy gaining a position on George Roberts as he looks to try and fight his way back through after that terrible start, then losing that back end early on. Meanwhile, we've got Clifford here, who's been biding his time. He's been patient so far, but yet again he'll stay behind Ollie. He knows that he's got to let these tyres last. There's mixed strategies up ahead and they're all battling each other. If he can just stay with them and keep his tyres in good nick, then he has a good chance of getting a good result here. Meanwhile then, Maze and Steph battling each other then as we head down towards turn 12 here, as Maze is trying to go around the outside here of Steph, and he's got the move done. Great move by Maze then, as we now head towards turn 13 and 14. Meanwhile, up ahead, Spike and LMFC are battling as well, as Spike's tyres look like they're at the end of their sell-by date here. LMFC is closing in, and closing in fast as well. And as we come towards turn 19, you can see Spike hasn't got the grip anymore. He loses the back end. He's lost the car completely. Just by the pit lane entrance there, and he's got to wait as well. He's not sure if the car will ghost. He can't just drive across that top 6 there. And well, surely now that's a message coming to the pits, and he's taken that message with a grain of salt there as he heads towards pit lane. And well, I don't know if he was going to stop anyway, but here comes Ollie up the inside of Steph, then in towards turn 1 as there's battles further behind then. Clifford now up into P9 with Spike Spin then just in front of the pit lane entrance, as we head side by side now through the S's there. Not really a good idea to do that, but Clifford there backs out of it as Sean picks himself up a 3-second time penalty for his troubles then. Spike now onto a set of soft tyres, and he'll rejoin in around about 14th place in front of George Roberts, which was crucial. But here comes Clifford though, right on the back of Sean. This could be his time now. He's been patient this whole time. Sean will go defensive down the inside, which will give Clifford the outside line. Steph, meanwhile, also has the outside line. They clip tyres, Sean and Clifford, but no damage done in the long run, and they'll all have DRS then as we head down the long back straight. We've got to watch Ollie as well, as he wants to try and get past Maze. You can see there he thought about it, but here comes Sean then trying to defend from Steph, and I've switched cameras at the wrong time. Clifford there could take advantage. Steph loses that back end very slightly, and coming around now, George Roberts is out of the race. Meanwhile, Clifford trying to stick it on the outside. It will then become the inside as we head towards turn 15 here. He's got the inside line, but Sean might have a little bit more traction then, but no, Clifford and his patience has paid off. He's now up to P7 and has a chance now of closing down on Ollie.
Yeah, action all about the place there, and it's just now the strategies are coming into effect as well. Those super softs are going to start to grain away, and we're noticing that up the front as well, because Lambo is only a 10 for 2 behind Poe. He's really caught up now to the Renault driver. Those super softs are now going to start to wear away. I'm going to expect to see a flurry of pit stops from those on the super softs. There's 5 of them out there at the moment, although one is Jay's ghost car. I think he is back in the session, thankfully, because he's just sent me a friend request as well. Damien Pitts in the Mercedes, he was back down just outside the top 10. He lost a bit of time as well, so I don't know if he's had a wee spin or had a bit of contact, but he's now into pit lane and he's going on to a set of super softs again. So is that him pitting? Yeah, it looks like it, so that's a strange one, but it's going to be now the strategy, and for Poe as well, as Lambo has got the DRS down towards turn 12. He's going to go for the outside line, but no, the Renault cuts him off. And the annoying thing for Poe is, though, at the moment, if he pits now, he's going to come out in 9th place, just behind Steph, because there's 18 seconds between the lead and 9th place. So IT's 30 seconds off. So if Poe was to pit now, he would drop in 9th place at the moment. With the pit stop. Again, it looks like he's probably going to lose a lot more time if he stays out before long. Those tyres are starting to get to the end of the sell-by date, as you said about Spikes, but what a shame for Spike. He's sitting in 3rd place looking good, and just to spin it, I don't know if he was trying to come into the pits there or not, but he just lit the rear tyres up, and the Ultrasofts just decided they'd had enough as Lambo tries a long way round turn 1. They've touched wheels there. I hope there's no damage to the Toro Rosso's wings. No, he's got away with it, and these two up front are still fighting it all over the track, and Lambo is looking much the quicker driver at the moment. Those soft tyres and that lovely qualifying lap that put him P6 on the soft tyres looking pretty good at the moment. LMFC's in 3rd at the moment. Blizzard is in 4th place, and he's not too far behind him either. Spike showing that he's still got the pace, so a 35.7 on the soft tyres. He's currently down in 12th place and trying to catch up to Squeezy, so we need to keep an eye on his recovery as well.
LMFC here has got a huge job on his hands here. He's got to defend from Blizzard, but Blizzard's gone straight for it into turn 11, and I don't think LMFC put up too much of a fight then. Blizzard then up to P3, and he will get DRS as well, so that seems to be a favoured move from Blizzard. Make the move after you've got the DRS then, and try and pull away down the straight. But as you can see there, even with the DRS, LMFC was able to close that gap a little bit. Meanwhile, Maze and Ollie battling now in towards turn 12. Ollie thinks he has the move done. Maze just sticks it up the inside for turn 13 here, and then through turn 14. And these two are so close together. Ollie with that qualifying ban as we now head towards turn 15. Ollie's trying to go right up the inside, but Maze will get that better traction as we now head towards the flowing section of turns 16, 17 and 18. Poe pits in from the race lead. That's going to hand Lambo the lead then, as you can see here. LMFC is also into the pits then. Both of those drivers on super soft tyres, so that's the end of their stint. They have to go 15 laps on a set of soft tyres, which, looking at the current state of the tyres of the drivers currently out there, looks entirely possible. Lambo, Blizzard, Maze, Ollie, Clifford, they've all done 11 laps on their soft tyres, and they look like they have more pace to come.
Yeah, definitely so. I'll be back in a wee minute there, Kim. Sorry, I'm trying to get Jay a bit of help here. I'll be back in a second.
Yeah, no worries. I'll take over for now as Ollie picks himself up a 3-second time penalty. That's not going to help him if he wants to get some good points in this race then. He started from P16, which was not last in this race because Blizzard joined late, so he started from P17. Blizzard then currently finds himself in 2nd place, 9.7 behind Lambo. Maze is up into 3rd at the moment, with Ollie in 4th and Clifford in 5th, but all 5 of those drivers are yet to stop in this race. We've got Sean out there on super soft tyres, with Steph 1.8 behind, so the top 7 yet to stop in this race and yet to visit the pit lane for the first time. Here comes Ollie then, coming towards turn 12. He's up the inside of Maze. This battle is still going on then as we head down towards turn 12. Maze is still around the outside. Clifford thought about making a move though, but couldn't quite make it. Ollie then finds himself at last into P3, and those tyres looking like still they're in good nick, so he could be out there for a bit more of a while actually. Maze running wide then, heading through turn 15 as we now head towards that right hand flowing section of the track here as Maze sort of backs off. There's multiple lines you can take through 16, 17 and 18, but only one through 19, and that's clipping that curb on the inside there, that left hand side. Clifford then heading through turn 20. He'll want to make the move done as quickly as possible. Meanwhile, Poe is past Steph. Poe has already pitted, rejoined in 7th place as now Steph comes into the pits and takes a bollard with him. Why not? No camera angles from the pit lane entrance anymore, as I think we can start. Thanks Steph for that. Anyway, Sean and Steph into the pits. They've done 12 laps on their super soft tyres, and that's going to promote LMFC back up into 7th place. Lighty then, with an instant earlier on, has now got up to P8, but I doubt he'll be able to make those tyres last to the end of the race then, as we have Mays now trying to fend off Clifford then as we head through this section, Silverstone-esque section, as we now head down the hill through turn 10 and now coming towards turn 11. Clifford here not willing to make that move. He's willing to wait and bide his time to make those moves. So Clifford here desperate for a good result for Force India as well, as his teammate LMFC in 7th place. Now he's in the slipstream of Mazen as we head towards turn 12, and will he try and move up the inside? Yes he will. Has he got enough? It breaks late then in towards turn 12, and as he got the move done on Maze, Maze has to run a little bit wide then as he now tries up the inside, does he, of turn number 13 through 14. He's still there though, Maze, trying to stick it in, and towards turn 15 he thought about going up the inside, but not quite then. So Clifford then up to P4.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you absolutely fine, yeah.
Right, it's good, because it came up on my screen saying it was muted, sorry. So yeah, I am back now. Unfortunately, I can't find any way to get Jay back into the lobby without Xing it myself, and then I wouldn't be available to see anything for the rest of the race either. But he is saying that online his internet's not really working. Such a shame as well for that to be the case. Tried my best, my friend, I'm sorry I couldn't find out any way to do it. I'd lost the invite to try and get myself back in if I left, so we would end up being on your own as well. We've probably been stuck, both of us, so unfortunately it looks like Jay is going to be missing out on any points. But yeah, action all over. I've been listening to you like radio commentary more than watching it at the moment, but obviously Lambo 11 seconds clear the blizzard. Ollie's got Clifford all over the back of him, and Maze there as well. Now the top 5 have still to pit at the moment. You see Lighty and Squeezy are on 12 lap old tyres, but they pitted early. They actually pitted after lap 1. Squeezy spun it going through the S's section and lost his front wing. So the top 5 still to pit. And if we look at the gaps between the leaders, if Lambo is to pit just now, he would join behind Pole, I would imagine, or just about side by side coming out of pit lane. So he's got himself to jump on Spike at least, as LMF's Clifford looks around the outside at Ollie, but he's unable to get the move done just now. So it's getting to that point. There's still another 5 laps where they can keep these tyres going though, but it's going to be interesting where they drop out, especially Lambo against either Poe and Spike. Clifford side by side bumping wheels with Ollie, and now he's going to try the long way around 17 and 18, but has to back out. He's now going to try and cut down the inside with such the better speed. A lovely move by the Force India driver. That's not an overtaking place, but he's made that look so easy.
Yeah, absolutely great move from Clifford and a great move from the Force India driver. All this is doing though is allowing Poe to catch them. Poe, who has already stopped and is going towards the end of this race, as Poe now will try and make light work of Maze then on much fresher tyres, heading towards turn 1, and I don't think Maze put up too much of a battle then for Poe, who is desperately trying to fight for a championship here. As it stands, that gap at the top will only increase, but of course Lambo is yet to pit, and all Poe can do is push as hard as he can and dispatch these cars as quickly as possible.
Absolutely, he needs to just basically drive that car as fast as possible, but obviously we're still about just under half the race to go. He's still got to watch out for the tyre wear, because the tyres have got to last to the end. So should be able to do it without much problem, but you don't want to take too much life out of the tyres too quickly. It's going to cause you problems, and he's managed to get past there as well on Ollie down the straight. DRS better exit, newer tyres, easily done there from the Renault driver, and he's back up into P4 just now. I'm keeping an eye though on the leading times between Lambo and the likes of Poe and Spike, considering it is the championship standings, and I do think if Lambo was to pit any time now, he would come out behind Poe, but he should easily stay ahead of Spike if it's a clean pit stop. So some great action going on all over, and Lambo's already onto the back of Clifford. Those softs on the Force India making a struggle, and can Poe do what Clifford done to Ollie there? Not quite, but I'd imagine it's not going to be much longer before that Renault is through and up to the top step of the pole. In fact, he's going for it now into the last corner. He needs to be careful he doesn't lose his front wing. backs out of it, but he's got DRS, he's right behind as he head towards turn 1. That's going to be an easy move as long as he doesn't lock up, and it's easily done well before the top of the crest, and that is Poe back up into third place. So the question now is going to be, especially in terms of Lambo and Blizzard as well, but especially Lambo for the championship, when does that Toro Rosso come into the pits for its one and only pit stop? And even when he does, what tyres does he go on to? I would imagine super softs rather than taking the chance with the ultra softs, but you never know, depends how long he can make them last. He might just try something a bit different.
Absolutely, we've lost Damien in this race, and I'm just trying to ride on board with the Ghost of Jade to see if we can see whether or where Damien lost it. But I can't see anything right now. There's the green flag, so it was in that previous sector, but we have lost Damien. He is out of the race and becomes our third retirement from the United States Grand Prix. Lap 16 of this Grand Prix with 13 laps to go, 12 and a bit if you're picky. Lambo leads the way from Blizzard, both yet to stop. Poe is in third, Clifford fourth, Ollie fifth, Maze is in sixth, LMFC seventh, Spike in eighth, Lighty ninth, Squeezy in 10th, Steph 11th with Sean in 12th, Z3 13th, and Jay running as a Ghost in 14th. Here comes Squeezy then up the inside of Lighty, then in towards turn 12. Now they come towards turn 13, and Lighty's trying to go up now up the inside as we head through turn 14 now. Squeezy will have the inside line going up towards turn 15, but Lighty is just going to try and prioritise the exit there, and he's onto the curb there, can't quite get the traction down, and Squeezy then up into P9, hoping to recover at least something from this race.
Yeah, definitely. So he's trying to recover indeed as Clifford comes into the pits in the Force India. He's getting rid of those softs. He's on to super softs, so we'll see where he rejoins. But it just shows you that spin from Spike before he pitted, just how much it's lost him time. LNFC's ahead of him, and he's pitted already. Poe's obviously ahead, so it cost him quite a bit because LNFC was a little bit behind Spike at the time, and now he's down in 7th place and having to make do with what he's got, and obviously those tyres are older than anyone else that's already pitted around the same time as him. 8 laps ago, LNFC 5 laps old tyres, and so everyone else is going to have much fresher tyres than Spike, and it's just gone from bad to worse. Lost the lead at the start. Squeezy with an opportunistic move up the inside before he spun off, and he lost places to Poe and Lambo before spinning coming towards pit lane. So it's not been the greatest of race for Spike. Maybe he'll go back to the alternative strategy for Mexico, who knows.
Who knows indeed, but right now he's going to focus on trying to get past LMFC, full position, and as he head down towards turn 12, Spike braking much later than LMFC, and LMFC is not going to give him a lot of room there as Spike locks up coming into turn 13 through turn 14, but Spike, it looks like he's got the move done. LMFC will try now round the outside going into turn 15, cuts back to try and get a little bit of better traction as we head towards the flowing section of 16, 17 and 18 here. Right on the tail of Spike is LMFC in that Force India, but at the moment then it looks like Spike has that pace then to stay ahead, and up to P6 he goes.
Yeah, lovely stuff by Spike. Needed to get that done. He managed to get the move done, and hopefully for his sake he'll be able to pull away. But with the LNFC's on slightly fresher tyres, so he'll be hoping to stick with it. Maze has came into the pits, as has Lighty as well. And I've been watching Sean and Steph having a bit of a ding-dong through the middle sector towards the end of the lap, side by side through a good chunk of it. A good driving from both of them, and they're just going to jump. Sean's certainly just going to get ahead of Maze going into turn 1 as Maze comes out the pits. Looks like Steph's managed it as well, so Maze down to just outside the top 10, but he's got super softs for the rest of this race compared to the soft tyres for the rest of them. Yellow flag, and we've got Z3 running slowly somewhere on track. He looks like he's maybe struggling to get back to pit lane or something, I'm not sure. Yep, heading for the pits, so that's what he's missed pit lane. He's completely missed it, yeah. So there's something going on there. I wonder if he's lost his front wing somewhere. Can't quite tell from the camera angle, but that's what the yellow flag was there a wee moment ago. Is Lambo 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. But what is interesting for the leader as he comes into the pits, so this is a good time to pit because he should come out ahead of Ollie, and Ollie's still to pit yet, 22 seconds back, so he's going to lose the lead obviously, and he's going to lose out to Poe as well, but he should come out in third place. If not, he'll be just behind Ollie, but Ollie's still to come into the pits. Super soft tyres go on as I expected. I didn't think he'd try anything drastic, and he is on his way back out as Blizzard and Poe go flying past, and he should have more than enough time to get out ahead of Ollie, get easily ahead of Ollie. So that's a good number of laps on those tyres, good lap times as well, pulled out more of a gap, and Lambo comes out in third place with about 10 laps to go, 9.5 as you say if you're picky, and he's got super softs now. Blizzard's still to pit, so this is going to be a ding-dong battle between Poe and Lambo again once the Toro Rosso catches up. Two championship protagonists, first and second, and they're going to be fighting over the win here come the end of this.
Yeah, I wonder why Blizzard hasn't pitted yet, because the longer he runs on those softs, fine, but that's less time on the super softs, which will take a lap or two to get up to temperature and up to speed, and the longer he stays out and the longer he drops pace to Poe, you know, you're saying that time in the pit stop or the pit lane, 20 to 22 seconds, that's time he's got to make back up in his final stint. So the longer he stays out, surely Blizzard is hurting himself here.
In terms of the race win, yeah, but I'm wondering if he thinks that he can't get the race win now as Z3 retires from the session. If he was to pit now, he'd probably come out just behind Squeezy and take over 7th place. My thought is, I'm wondering if he's having a bit of fun here being a reserve, and I wonder if he's going to leave it as late as possible and put the ultra softs on maybe, and then just try and see how quickly he can go back through the field. I'm wondering if that's what his plan is. He showed early goals that he's got good pace, so maybe that's his thoughts. Maybe he wants to go for that fastest lap. Maybe he's still hurting from Z3 stealing it in Suzuka.
maybe just to get his foot definitely in the door then. But Blizzard is 2 seconds back from Poe here. I wonder if he's made a mistake somewhere, because he's definitely falling back. Whether those tyres have fallen off the cliff there. He's done 19 laps on those tyres. This is his 20th lap on those tyres here, as we've got yellow flags in sector 1, and I heard an engine there sort of go down in rev, so someone's lost it. But anyway, we're going to see Sean then fighting with Ollie. Ollie's up the inside here, and he's on those super soft tyres. He's going to have much better traction then, and Ollie is now up into P8. Mays as well was carving his way through the field. Saw him for a bit then as he was carving his way through 10th, 9th. He now finds himself up into 7th place. Lambo, meanwhile, is now battling away with Blizzard down the back straight as we now head down towards turn 12. And Lambo here with the DRS looks like he's got ahead, but Blizzard isn't going to have that. He's going to try down the inside, and they make contact. Lambo has to go wide. He has to go off the track there, and Blizzard here trying to go up the inside. Contact made, and that is Blizzard's front wing gone. The left-hand side has taken a huge hit there, and I'm not entirely sure what was going on between those two.
That was... I'm surprised at Lambo, knowing that he's got the championship to think of, to try and do that. You know, he made the move done, but Blizzard was not wanting to let it go. And when you've got the championship in the line and Blizzard's still to pit, I would have maybe backed out of that. Blizzard's going to have to come into the pits now, and he does do so. So Lambo's got lucky there. I wouldn't say anything was untoward, but considering the championship's up for the grabs and we've got 3 races left after this one, I'm surprised he put up such a resolute defence after making the initial pass when Blizzard went for the late lunge up the inside. But we've now got top 3 in the championship, top 3 on the road as Spike moves up to 3rd. Just to point out, Squeezy, just to compound his day, has came into the pits a second time. He's now onto super softs. Obviously decided that those tyres were just not going to last a full race distance, because he did pit on lap 1. But Lambo's got a bit lucky there, but now he's got the space and the breathing space to just hit the apexes, hit the braking zones, as I say every time when it comes to qualifying laps, and he's now got to chase down that Renault. He's got 7 lap fresher tyres, and he's got a softer compound to go with it. But again, like Suzuka, Lambo's got at least a 3-second penalty. I've not seen Poe with a penalty at all, and that cost Lambo some points in Suzuka, so could it happen again, even if he gets past? If he's going to get past and annihilate that 3-second penalty he's got, he's going to need to do it quickly. He's got 3.5 seconds to find as it is already.
Absolutely. Well, Blizzard came in with that change of front wing, now rejoins in 8th place, but I've done some math, I've run some numbers. Squeezy then moves up into 11th place as he battles with Light E down the back straight. Now he's got to score some serious points, because if Lambo wins this race and Squeezy finishes outside of the points, he'll be 63 points down on the championship leader with 3 races to go. And Light E is going to try and make sure that happens as he tries to go up the inside into turn 12. Now coming towards turn 13, Squeezy's got to keep his cool here as he makes his way through turn 13, now through 14, and Light E is backed out of that one for now. now, coming towards turn 15, Squeezy around the outside to get the maximum out of the corner. He's up into P11, so he's got to score some points today, or that could come back to bite him when we go to the next race in Mexico.
Yeah, as you say, if Lambo is to win and Squeezy not to score 63-point gap, it would pretty much be game over for the McLaren driver. Talking to McLaren, Blizzard's going up the inside of Ollie into turn 1, and he's gone late up the inside of Maze as well. He had such late in the brakes. I think there was a tight slight touch, and he's got the move done. He's managed to get 2 places there. That was very aggressive from the Red Bull, though. He easily got past the McLaren, and then late on the brakes, up the inside of the Haas driver as well. Camera angle was a bit deceptive for what I was looking at, so it would have been interesting if I was on board, especially with Maze, to see just how late that move was. But 2 places in 1 corner, and I did say whether he went.
Oh, sorry to cut across you, Andy. There. Oh, Steph has made contact with Squeezy there, and Steph is waiting for him to go past. But I'm sure Squeezy will go straight to the steward's room with that one. And Lighty, of all people, has got past Squeezy. Then they made contact. Then coming through, I believe that was turn 8 there, and Steph tapped the rear wheel. Now we've seen a penalty given for that. As we saw last time out, so Steph could be called to the steward's room after this race. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it's the opposite of what's happened with Squeezy and Jay and Suzuka, now happening the opposite way to Squeezy, so it could definitely be into the steward's room for that, but it's not going to make much difference for Squeezy at the moment because he's 3.5 seconds behind Lighty in 11th. 1 point's not going to do a big difference, and Sean in 9th is about 10 seconds up the road at the moment. So it's not looking too good at the moment for the McLaren driver regardless, and he needs to get a move on Blizzard, a 33.1 fastest lap. Just trying to see through the rest of the lap times. No one else is in the 1:33s. That's just how quick that is. That's an early 1:33 as well. The next fastest lap, I think, looking through it, is a 34.4 from Lambo. So that's 1.3 seconds faster Blizzard does than anyone else. Yes, he's got fresh tyres, but it's still a stonking lap.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's take that 1:33.1, was it, into account. The fastest lap at the actual United States Grand Prix in 2018 was a 1:37.3. We're currently going 5 seconds quicker than the current generation of Formula 1 cars. 5 seconds.
That's an astonishing amount of time. Obviously, in a game, the one bit you don't have is the fear of putting it in the wall and possibly injuring yourself. So it allows you to be a wee bit more aggressive in the brakes, a bit later, a bit harder into the corner, a bit earlier on the throttle, obviously, than the real drivers would do. And obviously, different conditions can come into it. Well, but it's still a phenomenal difference in time. Lambo's running out of time. Pole at the moment. Touch wood, I'm not trying to curse anything here. Although Lambo's closing in, Pole seems to have this pretty settled at the moment. He's 2.8, so Lambo's closed in, but he's only gaining about 0.3 a lap at the moment. That's not enough with 4 or 5 laps to go now. He really needs to find a second somewhere, or hope Pole makes a mistake very quickly if he wants to get that win. But then again, he might just be thinking, you know what, I'll minimise the damage to my points gap if he feels that he can't extract any more from the car. So it's going to be interesting, but a pole victory here with Lambo in second would close another 7 points in the championship. I believe that would make it about 16 between them going into Mexico. And the Renault driver, if that is the case to happen in 5 laps time, is currently hitting a purple patch of form at just the right time.
Yeah, it'll be 15 points exactly, the gap between Lambo and Poe heading to Mexico. If it were to finish like this, we still have 5 laps to go in this race though, and Poe on the soft tyres, Lambo on the super softs. Are those rear tyre temperatures starting to get to Lambo here? We are later into the race, of course. The track does evolve throughout the race. Maybe the super soft tyre was the tyre to be on earlier on, and maybe the soft tyre was the better race tyre. Spike is in 3rd place at the moment, and looking to try and score some solid points, but being behind both Poe and Lambo will not help him in the championship. Now, I want to avoid saying anything about the Force Indias other than they're in 4th and 5th right now. Blizzard there in 6th place, Ollie in 7th, Maze in 8th, Sean in 9th, Lighty in 10th at the moment. Squeezy's closing in on them though in 11th. Steph's coming for a set of ultra soft tyres and he's going around the track slowly. That could only mean one thing. He's going to try and challenge Blizzard's 131. Jay's still running as a ghost. He will class as a disconnection. If he were to finish in the points, he wouldn't score any of the points that would be beside his name.
No, and Squeezy as well, and obviously even if he gets past Lighty, I know Squeezy's at least got 3-second time penalty. I don't know about Lighty, so even if he gets past, he still might not score any points, and that won't be any good. Steph, as you say, Ultrasoft's running slowly. He's got the battery turned down to 0, so he is charging that up. As you say, he's going for that fastest lap to have a bit of fun. He's at the back, so he is just going to go for that. But Lambo, 2.4 seconds, so he's found another few attempts, but again, it's not quick enough. He's not gaining on that Renault quick enough to challenge at the moment. Because the old saying is obviously catching's one thing, passing is another, but he needs to be quick enough to catch him in the first place. And a couple of attempts a lap is just not going to do it at the moment. So Poe looking good on the soft tyres. He's been on them 7 laps longer than Lambo's been on his super softs, but he seems to still be finding enough grip from them at the moment as they come round to finish the lap. It'll be interesting to see what lap time they both do. I'm just going to check that as they come across the line, just in terms of what they've done. So Poe's done a 35.5, whereas Lambo's done a 35.0. So Lambo's found half a second there, but again, he needs to be doing that a bit quicker now, because there's only 3 laps to go, and that Renault, if it can keep going, will just finish, and the laps will just run out for the Toro Rosso.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, 3 laps to go then. Poe still leads the way in that Renault, with Lambo there just passing through in 2nd place. 2.3 is the gap at the moment, and at the moment Squeezy is outside of the top 10, which is not what he wants at all. But of course that's before all the penalties the game has to give have been added up. You can see Squeezy there now 9/10 behind, and now looking to try and get into that slipstream and into the DRS zone. I don't think he's in DRS range just yet. No, he's not. But now coming up the hill, he's had this battle once before with Lighty in the race. He's got to do it all over again though as he heads through turn 1.
Yeah, definitely so. Alan in the chat just pointing something out though, which I noticed as well. Spike doing a great stint on the soft tyres. Obviously one of the first to pit, apart from Squeezy and Lighty in lap 1. 17 laps on those soft tyres now, and obviously had to make up the ground that he lost by spinning. If he hadn't done that spin, we'd have a three-way battle up front right now. But another bit, as you were talking about Squeezy, Lambo picked up another 3-second time penalty. So I think even if he was to get past now, unless he can pull a good 6 to 10 seconds up the road, his challenge for the victory is done, because he's going to lose out to it on penalties, because I don't think Poe's got any at all.
Yeah, Poe will be desperately asking his engineer how much or how many penalties Lambo actually has, because the engineer can't actually tell you how many seconds of penalty the car in front or behind has, so he'll be desperate to know how much he's got, and that could actually help him relax towards the closing stages of the Grand Prix. 2 seconds is the gap right now. He's just able to keep it in that 2-second buffer, which is brilliant for him so far. We've got Blizzard meanwhile with 2 laps to go, making a move on the Force India of Clifford up towards turn 1, and he's turned the car in. Clifford then doesn't really have the tyres to fight against Blizzard, and Blizzard now up into P5, hoping to chase down the Force India's teammate LMFC up the road. 2.5 seconds though to find in 2 laps. I wouldn't put it past Blizzard, but that's a tough order.
No, definitely so, and I just want to pick up on your point, Steph trying to go for the fastest lap. He's done a lap time of 1:33.197, 4/1000 slower than Blizzard's 1:33.194. But it just shows you the pace that Blizzard can find, because he's on the super softs and Steph was on the ultra softs, the grippiest tyre. So it just shows you how quick Blizzard is in terms of race pace. So it just shows you how brilliant a driver he is actually on the track. But yeah, I think it's done for Lambo. He's got at least 6 seconds, and Poe, I am sure, has got nothing. So we're coming up to start the last lap shortly. There goes the Renault through my screen, and Lambo following him through. But I think we are pretty much, unless something major happens, I think we know who's going to be winning this race. But don't want to jinx it, obviously, as we go into the last lap of the race. Poe leads Lambo. It's still 2 seconds. Spike in third. Lovely recovery drive from the Sauber driver after he spin early doors. It'll be a shame, obviously, he wouldn't have wanted third place starting from pole position, but after what's happened, I'm sure he'll be happy with that in the grand scheme of things. And LMFC has now got Blizzard catching up on the last lap. So Blizzard got one Force India last time. He's got a lap left to catch the other one. I'll keep an eye on that one as well. But we're on the last lap, and it looks like Poe is going to come through and take this victory, but he's still got a good mile and a half at least to go.
Absolutely. Just watching Squeezy here try and get a point in this race, though. He has got penalties to add to his name after the race, at least 3 seconds. But here he comes in as we head up the hill towards turn 1 then. Lighty goes defensive. Squeezy will have to go around the outside, but will he cut back? Yes, he will. And look at that superior traction. Squeezy with a great racing brain there. Just about edges out Lighty. I thought Lighty's front wing was going to touch then, but no dice there. Squeezy gets up to P10. As Poe heads towards turn 15, we see Blizzard there along the back straight, battling away with LMFC, but you can see LMFC isn't done with him there. Tucks back into the slipstream as we head down towards turn 13, but nothing there. Poe then, we run on board as he comes around turn 19 and then towards turn 20. On track, he's done a fantastic job today and he'll cut down the lead at the top of the championship. Poe wins in Austin and the United States Grand Prix. Lambo finishes in P2 there with those 6 seconds worth of penalties. Spike here with that spin early on, running wide on the exit of turn 19. What might have been for Spike, and he's got a 5-second stop go for exceeding track limits. On the very last lap, he ran out of fuel as well, and that could invite Blizzard to take away third place, and he does. Spike drops to 4th place after that penalty on the very last corner. LMFC finishes in 5th. The other Force India of Clifford finishes in 6th. That's Force India's best result of the season. Ollie there finishing in P7 with Mays coming across the line in P8. Squeezy is out then. And Sean in 8th, Ollie 9th, and Lighty coming across the line in 10th place any moment now. So I don't know what happened to Squeezy as he came across into the 3rd sector. But what I do know is he won't be scoring any points today. It looks like he is out of the race. Well, I mean, Lambo won't be scoring the full 25 points, so that is something that Squeezy can hang on to. But he is now 56 points behind Lambo now, so that's a tough order now to try and fight back with that one. That will promote Steph up into 11th place then as he heads towards the line. But your winner of the United States Grand Prix, and waiting for that 10-gallon hat on the podium for him, your winner in Austin, it's Poe.
Yeah, brilliant race from the Renault driver. Managed to keep everything where it needed to be. Brilliant choice in the tyres, good race pace. Lambo tried to chase him down on that alternate strategy after qualifying 6th in the soft tyres, so 2nd place is still a good result when you think about it in the grand text of things, but to lose out on 7 points to your nearest championship rival is not what he would have wanted. And Spike obviously losing out on the podium, it was 3 attempts after penalties were included to Blizzard taking P3, but obviously, as you always say, it's the official unofficial results. I think Spike and Lighty had a bit of an incident coming into the last couple of corners. I couldn't see the McLaren anywhere, but it wouldn't have mattered because Spike had penalties and probably wouldn't have been scoring many points at all. But there's your standings, take it away.
Well then, Poe, your official, unofficial results, takes the race win. Lambo in 2nd, Blizzard 3rd, Spike in 4th, LMFC in 5th, Clifford 6th. Great result for the Force Indians there, and that's exactly what they needed. Mays in 7th, Sean in 8th, Ollie 9th, coming from his qualifying ban in the race. Lighty picking up the last point in 10th place, and 11th place for Steph there, the last of the finishers. Squeezy retired out of this race. We've got Jay there with a disconnection, so he counts as a retirement. Z3, Damien, George Roberts and Plaster all out of this race at some point during that 28 lap race. But well, I'll tell you what, Andy, that was a dramatic race, and well, 4 contenders might be down to 3 when we head to the next round in Mexico. Squeezy's got it all to do now, surely.
Definitely so. I mean, for me, what was it, 53 points, did you say? Or more?
I'll have to check that, but yeah.
It's quite a lot, but I mean, it's the equivalent of at least 2 race wins with only 3 races to go. And for me, I don't mean disrespect to Squeezy, but I think in terms of trying to get the championship, I think he is now out of it. Not mathematically, but obviously he's going to need a lot of luck from the other 3 drivers dropping out and him winning at least 2, if not all 3 of the races. So it's a tall order, even though it's not mathematically impossible. For me, the championship is getting really tight. Spike had a chance to gain some points back up today. Obviously had these issues, and as say, he might take that penalty to stewards if he feels it was unjust. So you never know. We might hear from him in commentator's corner. But it's coming down. It's getting ever closer to being Poe and Lambo duking it out, and we could be in for the possibility with those two, if it carries on, of a duel in the desert at Abu Dhabi for the final round. But phenomenal racing, and I just remembered I didn't finish before we go to commentator's corner my question earlier. 6 locations for the US Grand Prix. We got 3 of them during the chat. Kota, obviously, where we were at today. Indianapolis between 2000 and 2007. Someone said Watkins Glen. I think it was Alan said Watkins Glen. I can't quite remember. Yep, that was 61 to 68. The other 3 that had been a US Grand Prix were Phoenix, 89 to 91. Sebring, which is obviously more famous for the 12-hour race, endurance race, that was 1959, and the other one, which would have been the really tricky one, Riverside, 1960, a location that is now defunct and got a shopping centre over it.
Well, there you go then, an interesting fact there then. We'll head to commentator's corner very shortly, but yeah, hopefully we'll have a couple of drivers with us as we head there. Well, if you're leaving the stream now and not joining us for Commentator's Corner, well, that's fair enough. We'll hope you'll join us next time out on Tuesday when TTL F1 heads to Mexico. That'll be around about the same time, 8 PM GMT. Unfortunately, I won't be able to be there. I'll be in a different country, Andy. I'm not sure if you're going to be around for it.
I think I'm going solo on that one on Thursday night. No. Yeah, next Thursday at Brazilian Grand Prix. So yeah, I believe I'm doing solo for that one. And obviously, depending on how things go, I won't be around for what could be the championship decider. Because that's on Tuesday, and I'll be back racing.
Well, if you're talking about the title decider in Abu Dhabi, I should be around for that one. So we shall see.
I won't be.
So I might be flying solo for that one, but of course I'll keep you in the loop, Andy. Maybe watch the live stream as you're racing. Why not?
I'll look out for you in the comments if that one happens. But I think I'll let you wrap this one up, and we'll get on to commentator's corner, because I can see 4 drivers still in the lobby who will be waiting on invites.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully you'll join us for the stream on Tuesday around about the same time, 8 PM GMT. The stream will be live and we'll be heading to the Mexican Grand Prix. Well, hopefully we will see you at Commentator's Corner. Myself and Andy will see you there. Don't go away from the channel. We'll be back very shortly.